Welcome back to Camp and Shoot. This is the rifle shooting merit badge section. If you're needing the shotgun, please go to the third video for that. So first off, let's review the NRA Gun Safety Rules real quick. You have always keep your gun pointed in a safe direction. Always keep your finger off the trigger until ready to shoot. And always keep your gun unloaded until ready to use. For the Camp and Shoot weekend, we're going to be using 22 rifles, so we're going to complete option A of the rifle shooting merit badge. And earlier we mentioned that three basic parts of the rifle. You had a stock, an action, and a barrel. So we're going to go a little bit more into different parts of the rifle now. You have the butt plate or butt plate. You have the butt of the rifle. There's the wrist, and the comb, and the forearm. The stock, they're traditionally made of wood. However, today more and more are being made of some sort of synthetic material. The stock has features to give the shooter comfort and ease of handling and maximum shooting accuracy. For the action, you got the trigger, there's a trigger guard, there's a safety, and the chamber. The action is the group of moving parts that allows the loader to shoot, load, and fire and unload the rifle. Loading is involved in the opening of the action, placing a cartridge in the chamber, and then closing the action. This typically, what it does is cocks the firing pin and makes the rifle ready to fire. Firing takes place when the trigger is pulled to the rear, allowing the firing pin to strike the cartridge and the fire to the gun. When the action's opened after firing, after that cartridge has been spent, it's ejected so that a new one can be loaded in. And there's several different types of actions. There's bolt actions, there's pumps actions, lever actions, falling block actions, and semi-automatic, just to name a few of them. The trigger guard, it's a protective shroud that goes around the trigger that helps keep the trigger from being pulled accidentally. And then, again, we have the safety, which is your finger is your primary safety, and the one on the gun is a mechanical safety that can and will fail. Then we also have the barrel and the muzzle and the front sight and the rear sight. So we're going to talk a little bit about the rifle barrel, lands, and grooves. As you can see there, you have like the land and the groove in the picture in the left-hand side of the screen there. The land are kind of like plateaus, and the grooves are kind of like valleys. When the rifling, what it is it's a spiral. It spirals the length of the barrel. As you can see, there's the grooves and the lands there. And what it does is it gives the bullet a spin as the bullet travels through the bore. And then you measure bullets in a caliber, and that's the diameter of the barrel. And it's how many hundreds or thousands of an inch they're across the bullet is. So the parts of the a bullet or a cartridge, there's two different types of ammunition. There's center fire and there's rim fire, and they both have the same type of parts. They have some sort of a primer or primer compound, powder, case, and a bullet. So here you have the bullet. You've got the case, which is the copper jacketing that goes around it. You have the powder charge, which you can see there. And then you have the primer compound. Cartridges are sometimes incorrectly called bullets. This whole thing is called the cartridge. The only thing that is a bullet is the top brass piece in there. So the difference between a rim fire and a center fire, as you can see here, here's a rim fire cartridge. The priming compound is contained inside the rim of the case head, where it can be, the firing pin can strike anywhere along the rim of the cartridge. And on a center fire cartridge, the priming compound is in a metal cup that's called a primer that's in the center of that case head. And here you can see on the pictures, the priming compound is shown in red. So you can see that around the case head of the rimfire. that's on the left, and then right there in the center of the center fire cartridge on the right. So the cartridge firing sequence, after you load a cartridge into the chamber and the breech is closed, the trigger gets pulled. And what actually happens is the firing pin strikes the primer, the case rim, and it ignites the priming compound. The powder burns. That priming compound creates a spark that ignites the powder in the case. And that flame that's generated by the priming compound is what causes that powder to ignite. As the powder burns, it creates a high pressure gas that begins to push the bullet down the bore. It increases the pressure chamber so that it forces that bullet off the cartridge and pushes it out through the end of the barrel. So here you can see the continued combustion of the powder accelerates the bullet through the bore until it leaves the muzzle. The hot, high-velocity gas exiting the muzzle makes the loud bang when it hits the surrounding atmosphere. So one of the things earlier we talked about was to make sure you always use the correct ammunition for the correct gun. And here's a picture of a 270 Winchester rifle, where on the barrel you can see in the top picture there that it says it takes a 270 Winchester ammunition. And you can also see on the case head of the cartridge where it says that it is a 270 Winchester, and on the box. Some cartridges may have more than one name. Example is like a 7.62 by 5.1 and a 308 Winchester. And sometimes one name may be found on the gun and another one on the cartridge. And some rifle cartridges used in certain rifles may have a Magnum designation. And that means that those cartridges are loaded to a higher pressure than the standard cartridges of the same name. And you should make sure that those are able to be used in your firearm. So when we go out shooting, one of the first things we need to do is determine what your dominant eye is. So we know how to handle the rifle safely and how to care for it. So to figure out what our dominant eye is, if you don't already know how to do that, what you would do is you would stand up and you would extend both your arms forward and forming a small opening in between your hands. You kind of see that with the picture there on the right. And with both eyes, you look through that opening at an object, and you bring both hands to your face while looking at that object. And what's going to happen is one of your eyes is going to be covered up when you get it all the way back towards your face. And then the eye that's looking through there is going to be your dominant eye. So if that's your right eye, you should shoot from your right shoulder, and your left eye, you typically should shoot from your left shoulder. We're going to be using the bench rest position. The bench rest position is the position that is one of the more stable for shooting for the merit badge. And the way the bench rest position is going to work is you're going to sit behind the bench or the table facing the target, as we can see here in this photo. Your feet should be flat on the ground. Both of your elbows should be up on the bench top. The rifle forend, we should have some supports there for you that you can use. Sometimes there's sandbags or a different, this one has a bipod on it, but sometimes there's a sandbag or shooting bags that we'll have there that you can set that on. The firing hand grips the rifle stock around the wrist or the pistol grip of the rifle. Your head needs to be erect. And if you need to, raise the sandbags to allow your head to be erect, and don't lower your head down. And as you can see with this photo, her feet are flat on the ground. They're about shoulder width apart. She's leaning forward. The butt of the stock is positioned against the shoulder so that the rifle sights are at eye level. Remember, you need to keep the head erect. Your cheek should rest firmly against the comb of the stock. And the stock of the pistol grip should be grasped with the lower three fingers lightly resting on the thumb top of the thumb on top of the stock. The firing hand should be positioned so that the index finger is clear of the stock and can squeeze the trigger straight to the rear. In this position will provide the maximum bone support usage. So you want to use your bones to help support the rifle and not your muscles, as you'll start getting muscle fatigue, and then it'll cause the what they call an arc of movement and to get really large and make you miss your shots. So using your bones to help support will prevent you from will help lower the arc of movement and also help prevent from quickly tiring and holding the rifle still. So let's talk a little bit about shooting fundamentals, so we can look at what it takes to fire a good shot. So it's important to know that shooting is actually a series of one-shot events, whether it's rapid fire with a high-powered rifle or a single shot with a small bore rifle. The fundamentals of firing each of these shots are all the same. And those are aiming, breath control, hold control, trigger control, and follow through. So for aiming, sight alignment refers to the proper relationship of the rifle's front and rear sights. And so here with the post and notch sights, the top of the front sight is even with the top of the rear sight, and the post is centered in the notch with equal amounts of light on both sides. And so you can see here how if we're looking down the barrel, this is what we would want to look and see, where the top of both of the sights are level. There's equal amount of light on both sides of that. With a peep sight, the front post or aperture is placed at the center of the aperture of the rear sight. But above all, proper sight alignment is the key to accurate shooting. Any misalignment of the eye, the front sight, or the rear sight will introduce an angular error that multiplies with distance. So this is the sight picture that we want to get. Proper sight picture is obtained when the sights are aligned and put into the proper relationship with the target. Whether it's a 6 o'clock hold or a center hold, you can see there. We still have the front sight and the rear sight level, straight across, same amount of light on both sides of that in there, and your focus should be on the front sight. Like I said, the sight picture will vary according to the type of sight that is on the firearm. And since you're supposed to focus on the front sight, and that's because the eye can only focus on one object at a time. And so if you focus on that front sight, it'll appear sharp and clear, while the rear sight and target may appear less sharp and clear, but as long as you're focusing and you have that right, you should be good. Now, breath control is the body moves while you're breathing, and so you want to use breath control to minimize such the movement. So the way you do that while you're shooting is you take a breath before each shot. You need to let out enough air to be comfortable, and then stop breathing while firing that shot. But be careful, because holding your breath for too long can result in a muscle tremor. And if this occurs, stop, remove your finger from the trigger, lower your rifle, but still maintain control of it and point it in a safe direction. Relax, take a few breaths, and begin the firing cycle again. Now, it's impossible to hold the rifle without some motion, and this motion, I referred to it earlier, is called the arc of movement. And it's kind of like an infinity signal, and you should try to maintain proper sight alignment and sight picture while minimizing this arc of movement. With practice, the arc of movement will decrease. And here you can kind of see what I'm talking about on the arc of movement. You have this moving, and when you have the minimum arc of movement are the best sight pictures when you want to pull that trigger. Now, trigger control, it refers to the proper method of activating the trigger to minimize movement that can misalign the sights. The index finger is placed so that the trigger is halfway between the tip of the finger and the first joint. And the trigger is squeezed straight to the rear in a smooth, continuous manner without disturbing that side alignment. And the pressure should be applied evenly and not in a start and stop manner. You don't want to jerk that trigger. It needs to be nice and smooth all the way back. You should not be able to predict when the gun will fire, and each shot should come as a surprise, but just don't jerk it. Trigger squeeze and side alignment must be done simultaneously while maintaining the minimum arc of movement. Next one, and the last one, is follow through, and it's the continuation of the application of the shooting fundamentals through and immediately after the shot. And follow through actually enables you to integrate and maintain control of all the shooting fundamentals before, during, and immediately after firing the shot. With follow through, it also lets you go back through the whole process for your next shot a little bit quicker. So of the 5 fundamentals, the 2 most important fundamentals are aiming and trigger control. And then the other fundamentals all contribute to help you achieving these 2. So if you have these 2, you're going to be better off than without these 2. If you had the other 3 down, but you're missing these 2, you're not going to do as good as having these 2 down and not the other 3 as well. So that's what we needed to cover for the rifle shooting part of the merit badge. If you have any questions, email them to us at crew82.norman@gmail.com. We'll be glad to answer those and get you a response back. If you have questions about filling out the worksheet, go ahead and email and we'll answer those also. We'll see you at Camp and Shoot. Remember to follow all the safety procedures that we've talked about, not just for the rifle shooting, but for also the COVID-19 pandemic that we're currently in. Once again, thank you for your time and looking forward to see you guys at Camp and Shoot. Have a great day.